I've had people argue about a penny at a closing table. It's okay.
What did you do?
What did I do? I brought in a penny when I was making copies of the closing documents. I brought in a penny. I grabbed it out of my purse, found one, stuck it on the table, gave it to the guy. And I said, now there's no fighting. Here's your penny.
If you pass away with no properties, no nothing, you can expect your families to be the same way as you left them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you leave with a lot of properties, sometimes that's where
everybody changes.
Yeah. I've done that before. So I was wondering, what do you think of splitting costs for husband and wife, or even for partners? They would often say that it should be like 50-50.
It honestly depends on how their accounting is set up personally. How's their checking account set up? Are their accounts shared at all? If they're not shared and they really want to keep stuff separate, then yeah, 50-50. You run into a problem though, where one spouse might make $200,000 a year and the other spouse makes $100,000. I would say what I would always recommend is be careful who you marry. You know, is there going to be a fairness in it? You know, should you truly pay half of everything if your income is half of the other person's?
Yeah.
It's really, you know, what are they doing when they like go into the marriage? What is their thought pattern? But those are definite discussions to have before you get married.
It's actually a little sensitive if you think about it, because some people would think that, oh, money might be an issue if you start discussing about this.
From what I've seen, it's more of an issue the older you are when you get married, like for that first marriage. That's when it's more of an issue. When you're getting married a little bit younger.
Yeah.
When neither party has anything, they have no money to their name. Mm-hmm. It's not really an issue before that. If one person's coming into a marriage with, say, some kind of trust fund, a lot of money, maybe, you know, who knows how they came into it. They may want to protect it, which I would recommend. If somebody has $1 million in an account and they're marrying somebody that, you know, maybe only makes like $50,000 a year, you might want to protect it in case, because marriages do end.
Yeah. It's especially now.
Nobody goes into a marriage thinking it's going to end. But I have a daughter. I would say protect yourself if you're in that kind of situation.
So you're pro prenup.
I am pro prenup. Yeah.
It's a little taboo in the Philippines to talk about it. Especially, I've had a lot of encounters with people when they started discussing about prenup, and they would get turned off with the person because you're not supposed to be thinking about your properties. I mean, obviously you're going to get married. It's what's mine is yours, is what they say.
Right.
So I don't know about the culture here in the US, but
there's also ways. I mean, before you get married, if somebody does feel uncomfortable about doing a prenuptial agreement, if you have properties, move it all into a protected LLC or a trust. And then you don't have to worry about that prenuptial agreement because it's already protected.
That's true.
And then, you know, maybe it saves feelings at the end of the day. But I would recommend anybody, especially if they have something, to try to protect it, because you never know.
Yeah, me too.
With people, you know, you can always change your mind. You know, say you're married 10 years and you're like, no, what I have, I want to share and to be both of ours. You can always undo it all. You could always share the property, or percentage of the property, however you want to do it. It can always be changed.
Yes. Yes, here you can, right? In the Philippines, you can't. It's either you have a prenup or you have dissolution. You just separate everything.
Oh, that's interesting.
Very, actually. They're pro-community there. So it's either you set everything up before you get married, or after you get married, you can just separate everything. Just liquidate your assets and just separate everything. And then that's it. You can only do it one time after you get married.
That's interesting.
You can't go back and have another post-nuptial agreement where
you can't do like a revision.
No, you can't.
Wow.
So it's very strict. So it's actually better here, because you can just change your mind. Say, for example, in the future, you both started earning a lot of money. or one of your companies that you used to exclusively own, you want to bring into the marriage, then you can do that. But in the Philippines, you can't. It's either you bring it in the marriage or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think inheritance should be part of the community?
No.
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 Right?
No. But when you start moving it around into separate accounts, that's where you got to be careful. So
yeah.
Have a trust. Have everything go into separate accounts that are controlled by a trust.
That's true.
But that's my opinion. I'm not an attorney. I can't provide legal advice. But what I would do personally is put stuff in a trust.
Yeah.
That's what I would recommend for my own daughter.
Not a lot of people knows. I mean, well, at least in the Philippines, it's not very common that people has trusts. So it's actually just now that I'm actually really learning about it, because wills, yes, but it's rare. Like most people in the Philippines, they just pass away and they don't even have wills, and they just distribute their properties. They just distribute it. It only goes to court whenever there's like someone contesting it, the distribution. But otherwise, they don't really. But here, you really have to probate it.
Yes.
Right? It's like really required.
But I've seen, because we have the law office in here, and with title, the moment money is brought up, people change. And I don't know if it's more of an American thing where
I think it's everywhere.
They get one whiff of money and they're like, they become like crazy people.
It's universal, I think.
Yeah.
That's why it's a thing in the Philippines. They say if your family, or if you pass away with no properties, no nothing, you can expect your families to be the same way as you left them. But if you leave with a lot of properties, sometimes that's where
everybody changes.
That's where problems arise. That's where things like that happen.
Yeah. We've had people upset in our office, and they even broke a door when they found out they were being kicked out of the will. So it happens. I've had people argue about a penny at a closing table. And I'm like, really? Your mother would be so disappointed if she were alive to see this, fighting over one penny. So whatever. It's okay.
What did you do?
What did I do? I brought in a penny. When I was making copies of the closing documents, I brought in a penny. I grabbed it out of my purse, found one, stuck it on the table, gave it to the guy. And I said, now there's no fighting. Here's your penny. I probably didn't handle it the best, but one of the siblings busted up laughing. The other one was like, I could see he was pretty angry with me, but I'm like, come on, you guys, you're being ridiculous.
Yeah.
So here's your penny, though. Go on your merry way.
Settled.
Everybody's getting the even amount now.
Personally, if I get married, I would have a prenup. It's something I would discuss, not because I want properties to be separate, just because divorce is just so common nowadays that I would want to have, maybe after if we're still married 10 years from our marriage, we'll combine everything, things like that.
Right.
It's just a matter of, I guess, planning. It's important, but not most people would appreciate it.
You didn't answer the question. What is it about American men that she should be concerned about?
I would have him tested for STDs, and I would also make sure that, and I would make sure that they don't have any unknown kids, and be very careful with their mothers, because you never know. Like when you're
marrying the family,
you are marrying the family. And Philippines, they're so family oriented. It's not quite like that here in the U.S. We are family oriented to a certain extent, but just be careful.
Yeah.
Have your friends do a deep dive on the internet and investigate the guy.
And flirt with him. See if he flips.
Right. Yeah. See what happens. No, I'm kidding. But
I've done that before.
I've never had to do that. I've been with my husband since we started dating as kids. Yeah. So
unfortunately, they all failed.
Oh dang! You gotta pick better guys.
I know.
Where are you picking these guys up at? You got to start like maybe in the church.
That
That's a good service you did for your friend. I mean, think about it. The danger of what she could have got into.
Right, exactly. What do you think of guys who are too close to their moms?
I don't know. I think it's normally okay.
I think it's common here, right? It's like
It is, but there also has to be a certain separation where he's not divulging information about your
Everything.
relationship. He doesn't go and like discuss it with his mother.
You don't want a Peter Pan boy.
Yes.
Trust me. Stay away from them. They're dangerous.
Yeah. You need a little bit of separation, but a good mom, I mean, usually you'll see it.
I love it actually when they're close to their parents.
Yeah, you want them to be close, but you don't want them
To be too close.
right. Well, no, you don't want them to allow their parents to dictate every move.
Mm.
So you want somebody that's mature enough to be able to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Do their parents love them? You know, because I've seen this. I've seen this with young kids that my daughter's been friends with or a boyfriend she's had. Like previously, if their parents don't seem to like their own kids, like I would be very scared to date somebody like that.